Hello, and welcome to episode 32 on Uncovering the Corners of the World podcast. I'm your host, Karina Kosmala. Using research and my personal experiences where I actually set foot in some of these places, I'll be describing some of the unknown attractions in both the US and around the world. Today we're visiting Arkansas, the 25th state of the United States that became a state on June 15, 1836. Arkansas borders Missouri, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas. It's known as the natural state. Arkansas has 6 national park sites, 2.5 million acres of national forests, 50 state parks, 5 national scenic byways, and 3 state scenic byways. Besides parks, there are also 600,000 acres of lakes and 9,700 miles of streams and rivers. An interesting fact about Arkansas is that its state gem is the diamond. For our first attraction, we are searching for diamonds at the Crater of Diamonds State Park. Crater of Diamonds State Park is located at 209 State Road, Murfreesboro, Arkansas, and it's known as the only diamond-producing area in the world that's open to the public. It's a 37-acre field that's covered in a volcanic crater, or volcanic pipe, where 3 million years ago or so, the pressure from an underground volcano erupted, causing the carbon to crystallize and turn it into diamonds. In 1906, John Huddleston was a farmer who owned the land, and he was the first person who found the diamonds. He had Charles S. Stiff check 2 diamonds, one that was a 2 to 5/8 carats, and the other was a 1 to 3/8 carats. Charles S. Stiff verified that these are real diamonds. Huddleston became later known as the Diamond King. He also sold the land. In 1952 to 1972, Miller's Crater of Diamonds Company opened the area to tourists. By 1972, the state bought the land and planned to turn it into a state park. It's been said that 75,000 diamonds were found at the park, averaging 600 different colored diamonds each year. Some of the diamonds that were found include the 40.23 carat diamond, named the Uncle Sam, and it's known as the largest diamond ever found in the US. The person who supposedly found the diamond was W.O. Basham, whose nickname was Uncle Sam. In 2015, a white-colored icicle-shaped 8.52 carat diamond was found by Bobby Oscarson from Colorado, who named the diamond the Esperanza Diamond. Besides diamonds, people have also found agate, jasper, quartz, calcite, and barite. Today, visitors can rent equipment and pay $10 to get a chance and look for some. Surrounded by a blooming garden and a pond on both sides, we walk down a narrow bridge, sculpted out of weaved-in trees, to a 2-story building known as the Old Mill. This water-powered grist mill, called the Old Mill, is located at 38,000 Lakeshore Drive, North Little Rock, Arkansas, or in the T.R. Pugh Memorial Park. It is famously known as the mill that appears in the beginning of the 1939 Oscar-winning film, Gone with the Wind. It's also believed to be the only prop or structure from the film that still exists today. However, the mill was not originally built for the film. Rather, it was built as a tribute to Arkansas's pioneers from the 1800s. The Old Mill was built in 1933 by a German immigrant named Frank Carmine, who worked with the sculptor and artist Senor Dionco Rodriguez, who designed the Tree Branch Bridge and made the concrete of the mill appear as if it was made out of wood, iron, or stone. The old mill is purposely doorless and windowless to show that the typical mill from the 1800s would have lost its doors and windows by the 1930s and would appear to be abandoned. In 1976, the old mill was given as a gift to the city of North Little Rock, while in 1986, the old mill was included on the National Register of Historic Places. In 1991, it was renovated by Carlos Cortez. However, there are parts of the old mill that are considered historic relics, such as the mill rocks that are found on the second floor of the mill, were originally part of the plantation of Tom Noble. There are 3 parts of an iron shaft that were originally found on the stern wheel of a passenger steamboat that sailed in the 1800s on the Arkansas River. There is also 2 milestones placed in the old road to the mill that originally were part of a military road from the 1830s, and it was constructed by Lieutenant Jefferson Davis, who later was president of the Confederacy. In 1990, the old mill was featured on a postage stamp celebrating the 50th anniversary of the film Gone with the Wind. Our last attraction takes us to 103 Franklin Street in Washington, Arkansas, to the historic Washington State Park, also known as the place where the Bowie knife was made. The historic Washington State Park is a museum village in a state park that showcases buildings from the territorial, antebellum, Civil War, and Reconstruction eras in history. In 1824, the town named Washington was found and sits along the Southwest Trail. The town produced cotton along with other agricultural products, such as corn, livestock, and fruit. The population grew to include 16 doctors, 15 carpenters, 9 teachers, 9 blacksmiths, 3 carriage makers, 17 lawyers, among others. Unfortunately, there were several buildings that burned down. About 4.5 blocks of the business district burned down. However, the residents of Washington created the Pioneer Washington Restoration Foundation in 1958 to preserve the rest of the town, while the Old Washington Historic State Park was created in 1973. The park today is called the Historic Washington State Park, after a name change in 2006. The buildings that visitors can walk into today include the 1874 Hempstead County Courthouse, a blacksmith shop, weapons museum, print museum, Hempstead County Jail, the Goodlet Cotton Gin, and the Pioneer Washington Foundation headquarters, among others. The Bowie knife that was created in this town was made by blacksmith James Black in December 1830. He made it for James Jim Bowie. James Jim Bowie, along with Sam Houston, who was the president of the Republic of Texas, and Davy Crockett, who was a congressman who traveled through Washington before they participated in the fight for Texas's independence. The collection of Bowie knives can be found in the B.W. Edwards Weapons Museum, found in the park. The print museum showcases linotypes machines and printing presses that originated from the 19th and 20th century. The Goodlet Cotton Gin is built in 1883 and was originally found in the Osnen community before it was moved to Washington. Thank you for listening to this week's episode on Arkansas. For more information on the Crater of Diamonds State Park, check out the Arkansas State Park website, along with the article titled Photo Essay, An Eruptive History by Waymon Cox. To learn more about the Old Mill, visit the website North Little Rock on the Old Mill. Lastly, to learn more about the historic Washington State Park, visit the Arkansas State Park website on the historic Washington State Park. Be on the lookout for a new episode from Uncovering the Corners of the World podcast. Have a great week.